After a grueling battle, Miscu had taken the victory in the first challenge of the sparring tournament. Tess and Ianfear once again spotted the mysterious vessel, the HMCV Winchester, just through the fog and immediately reported to the captain. Anterius recognized the ship's name and began researching with val'faelen's help. The Winchester appeared once again from the fog, interrupting the conclusion of the tournament and stopping dead in the water alongside the unbroken trust. Anterius called to drop anchor and asked Iolanthe to put together a boarding party. Welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign. I'm suffering from allergy. I'm your DM. Guys, welcome back. It's been a long time, but we're back after everything, and glad to be back. I hope everybody's having a great day because I'm having an awesome day. We're going to go ahead and get started. Post haste one moment while I get some appropriate background noise. Let's see. Ah, yes. And let's cut back over to the Unbroken Trust, where, as you can see, over on the left-hand side there, you guys are pulled up next to a ship. You can probably see this along the left side of the map, I hope, where I've created tokens for each of the two ships. Kind of, not really important
Well,
here, but
it
just
seems
want to make
like
sure that that's
black.
there.
It's black screen.
You're getting a black screen? Try refreshing.
Yeah.
It's still just taking a little bit of time to load for me, but there we go.
All right.
Healthiest's little seal icon cracks me up.
I hope somebody got a laugh at with all the seal stuff on the chat.
So when we had left off,
I don't see it.
Anterius had asked you, Iolanthe, to put together a boarding party. So I assume at this point you are wanting to kind of go around and gather people together to board this ship.
Yeah. Was he specific about how many people or what we're trying to do?
No, didn't give you any specifics at current. Just asked you to construct a boarding party and then gather in the map room.
All right. I'll go over to where Miscu is and tell them Captain wants some people to board this ghost ship, and I know for sure you would be brave enough to do so.
Miscu's gonna throw her club over her shoulder and give an affirmative nod. Ready when you are.
She kind of turns to some of the people in the area and she says, anyone else?
Everyone kind of looks around, but is mostly quiet. I think Healthius swims toward the ship. What are you doing, Healthius?
I'm swimming back and forth underneath the ship.
Oh, okay. The ship's currently stopped, so well, yeah.
This would be relatively easy.
Yep. Iolanthe, you don't seem to get any. You don't seem to get any other responses from people. Bogram kind of sits on these crates next to you, and he just kind of scoffs when you ask. There are whispers, but otherwise everything is very quiet.
Iolanthe kind of looks around at everyone, just like, really?
Art, art.
Look, even the
Alright.
seal is braver than the rest of you.
Turid kind of looks down at the floor. And then she steps forward. I'll go.
Iolanthe beams at her like, ah, finally.
Okay. So Ian Fear is gonna use his minor illusion cantrip here, and he's gonna create the sound of Bogram's voice coming from behind him, saying, "Fine, I guess I'll join."
Rogram kind of stirs in his seat. I didn't say anything. That wasn't me. Who's responsible for this?
Don't listen to him. That was totally me.
Bogram immediately just goes downstairs. He kind of just stamps his feet all the way down. You can hear him kind of grumbling to himself.
Miscu's gonna chime in, sounding slightly disgusted. All right, anyone braver than Bagram want to come with?
Tess, at this point, you've helped val'faelen don the rest of his armor. He turns to you and thank you as he straps the longsword to around his waist.
You're very welcome. Now, please excuse Tess.
Yes, of course. And he leaves your quarters.
She's going to collect her, she has her, like, quarterstaff that she carries around with her, so she's gonna collect that along with her bag and get her, cape put back on before she leaves the room. Suiting up.
val'faelen exits the quarters and makes eye contact with you momentarily, Ian Fear. As he does, he sort of raises both his eyebrows, sort of as an acknowledgement of your existence, turns and immediately kind of beelines directly for you, Iolanthe. I hope I'm not too late to provide my own services.
Iolanthe turns to him and is like, not at all. We're having a little trouble rallying anybody besides Miscu, and then she turns to the other volunteer and says, I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?
Art.
You're talking about Turid?
Yes.
Yes, me, Turid. She kind of like balls up her fist and claps it into her open palm. val'faelen rests his hand atop the hilt of his blade and kind of slinks back into the sides of the crate there, resting against it. I suppose we should all gather in the map room, yes?
At this point, Tess will come out of her room and join the team. Oh, let me move past all the shadows here. Sorry, Tess is late. Took a moment to get everything together.
val'faelen just kind of stares off over the port side of the ship, looking over at the Winchester parked next door. Some of the other crew members are fashioning a sort of plank to stretch out between the two ships, You see them kind of haphazardly nailing pieces of wood together and tying them together with rope. I hope you don't expect me to cross that.
Iolanthe looks at val'faelen's back like, well, are you flying?
val'faelen turns around. Did I sprout wings at some point?
Ianfear goes, don't worry, if you have any concerns, I have some ways to fix that for you.
That probably won't be necessary, Ianfear. I believe that I can manage.
Poor Ianfear. You set the ship on fire 6 or 7 times, and suddenly you got this reputation following you
Once.
around.
It was once. And it was only me.
You still set the ship on fire.
I also turned Healthius into a seal.
Art!
He seems to be enjoying himself, though.
Yeah.
Got better.
Where do we need to go? The map room?
Yes, I believe so. I suppose I'll see you all there. Val kind of hoists himself up from his leaning position against the crates and proceeds down the stairs.
Iolanthe goes to follow behind him.
Mescu follows in suit.
I have a black screen.
Me too.
What?
When I went down the
At moment, it's
stairs.
Probably getting ready to load.
Oh, that's strange. It probably... It shouldn't have done that.
I don't
There we
see
go.
another ship.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really easily put it like on the map like that, so... So I just kind of tokenized it and put it over next door. But it
Oh,
is
I
there.
just-
I promise it's there.
I just see four squares of water and then black screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, either way,
well, there
it's
we
not the token part isn't really that important. So,
That's weird. I
not
wonder why
right
it
now
did
anyway.
that.
What's that?
So I see what it did. When I went to go downstairs, it brought me to a completely different, or like it left my thing view on the other part of the map. So I had to zoom all the way out until I could actually see where I was on the other part.
Same.
So that was the camera thing.
Oh, that was weird. Okay. Wonder if that has to do with the update to Foundry. But either way,
Did Bagram really come to hide in the map room thinking that we weren't all coming in here to...
Bagram, Tess is so proud and so happy to see that you'd like to join us.
not that I care.
Oh, tough guy.
He has his arms crossed and he's
You know
His
what they
face
say
is-
about the tough guys? That their insides are very squishy and soft.
Mescu's gonna pipe in. I can attest, he is quite squishy.
Bagram kind of just scoffs and turns away from you as well. Oh, right. Turid. Turid follows behind you, Ianfear, rather excitedly, let's say. At times, it's almost as though she pushes you forward. She kind of crowds into the room and lines up along the table.
Iolanthe looks over to Ianfear, and she's like, is your friend gonna be all right out there? How long is he gonna be a seal?
I haven't kept good track of time, but usually it doesn't last very long.
He probably has another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Actually, I would say, Healthiest, that being, of the magical persuasion, you're probably aware that the spell is going to fade
Yeah, and
relatively soon.
I would really like to get this show on the road here as I'm speaking in my head.
What is it you want to do as a seal?
I want to ram into the other ship.
You want to ram into it?
Yeah, like head
what-
first.
Are you
what
trying to
end?
break your seal neck?
No. No, I'm making sure that it's real.
Oh yeah, you can definitely do that. It's not terribly far away, just a matter of feet
Okay,
from the
so
other
these
ship.
4 squares, and then where the black screen starts is the ship.
Yeah, we can say, or actually, it's probably more like 2 squares, and then the ship starts. Like I said, it's not very easy like I'd have to redo the entire map to include the ship. I don't really
Okay.
know any other way to do that.
No worries. I'll swim head first into the ship. Boom.
Bonk. So your nose hits the ship. It's definitely real.
Come back to our ship and be like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr."
Go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
Me?
Yeah, you.
How do you do that?
So double click your character to open up your character sheet, and then click on your wisdom attribute, and it will ask if you want to roll regular or with advantage. Just roll it regular. Excuse me.
Ability check.
That's correct.
Okay, ability check. Normal. Right?
That's correct.
Okay, normal. I rolled.
You've rolled a 9.
I did.
Your initial inspection of the side of the ship doesn't yield very much information, but you do note that the ship itself is in surprisingly good condition.
So it's solid.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
In fact,
That's all I was really trying to find out.
In fact, strangely enough, there doesn't appear to be any kind of imperfection at all on the underside of the ship. Usually, ships underneath can get a little bit, dirty stuff on there. The ship is surprisingly quite clean.
Like a brand new ship.
Yeah.
Well, there's really nothing else I can do because I don't have arms and hands. So I can't even get on the ship.
Oh, sure you can. Swim down, swim up really quick. You can probably make it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Go ahead and roll a
down
dexterity
about
check.
30 feet, and then I'll swim up as fast as I can, leaping out of the water. And
Go ahead and roll a
hopefully-
dexterity check, and I'll give you advantage on this one.
How did you do that little flashy thing?
I don't know. It's been doing it.
I'm not sure how you're doing that. Might be double click. I don't know.
I think. Well, no. It double click comes up with the. I think it's hold. Yeah, it's hold.
Oh yeah, you click and hold. I didn't know that was a thing. Thanks.
So yeah, I rolled a 9.
You rolled a 9.
Mm-hmm.
You rolled it normal. Roll it one more time.
Yeah, he decided to give
dexterity.
you advantage on it. So
Okay, ability check, advantage. Okay.
Okay, we'll go ahead and keep that one.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
That-
you're easily able to maneuver yourself back on the ship. And
On their
when you
ship?
when you hit the deck, you're like, ta-da! Which ship are you trying to land on?
The other ship.
Okay. Yes. So you land on the other ship. I will get back to you as soon as we conclude this next piece. Okay?
Cool.
Cool. All right. In the map room. All right. Here. Okay, there's my notes. Cool. So Anterius, Anterius kind of looks around the room. Thank you all. As you know, I will be staying aboard the ship to manage things here while you're gone. Where to begin? Okay. The Winchester was another of Her Majesty's cargo vessels. Tea and silk were shipped from Avatlek, Imajokia, to Ponassus in South Maulia by land, where the Winchester was docked. The ship would then set sail over the open ocean to Eilerdorf in North Maulia. However, the ship never reported to Eilerdorf, and it was thought that the ship simply sank. After 5 years at sea, we find it just floating here. There has to be some kind of malevolent power at work here, although I know not to what end such a power would take captive a simple cargo vessel. I fail to see any reason that would have happened. Anyway, your mission will be to board the HMCV Winchester and find out what happened. As always, I would prefer this mission not degrade to violence, but we have no idea what forces are at work, and defending yourselves and the lives of your crewmates might be necessary. Just be careful out there. So with that, you guys can go ahead and discuss your plan of attack here. Basically, the current situation is the Winchester is pulled up next to the ship, facing the same direction. A bridge has been fashioned, and you guys can cross over that and get to the ship. But what happens once you're there is kind of up to you. I would imagine that if there is any documentation, I suppose, of what might have happened on the ship, it would exist in the captain's quarters. Wouldn't you agree?
That does sound like a good hiding spot for some captain secrets. Isn't that right, Anterius?
Secrets, I suppose. We might also check the crew quarters as well. You know, some of the crew might have kept some kind of note or diary or something like that.
So board the ship, find as much paperwork as possible. Yes?
We might find shinies as well, here it says.
Yeah, after all, you said it was supposed to be carrying supplies and it disappeared. Maybe these supplies are still on board.
I don't necessarily want to steal. Anterius kind of cuts off val'faelen at that point. The cargo actually would belong to the Queen, really, so bringing it back aboard would be favorable.
Yeah, we're just going to complete the mission that they couldn't. That's all.
Well, when you put it that way, that does make sense.
Plus, you would think that if there were trouble, and if it had anything to do with the cargo, that would be one of the first places, or the last places, that you would find people who were trying to defend.
I'm still hoping we can finish this without the need to unsheath blades.
Are we just going to walk on the ship?
What did you have in mind?
Well, it's not like we can really sneak up on a ghost, I don't think.
That's assuming there are ghosts.
Well, how else would it have gotten here?
A valid point. We simply don't know what powers are at work, Iolanthe. Anterius' face kind of becomes very grim.
Well, what I mean is, do they just let you come into their home? Or do we need to take any kind of, I don't know, protection?
Well, I mean, the ship did pull up next to us. So presumably, that means that if there was some force, they came to seek us out.
What happens if it starts to float away as soon as we're on board?
Well, I can say that if it does start moving, we should be able to keep pace with it, Anterius says.
If it does float away instead of trying to be rude toward us, that could mean it's trying to lead us somewhere. Assuming there are ghosts there. I mean, there is a ghost on this ship.
It would be a good opportunity to learn of its fate, as it were.
What if we could get her to come with us? This ghost in our pantry. Iolanthe kind of rubs her eyes a little bit as she's sitting there thinking, like, this is the weirdest conversation.
Ghost in the pantry?
Come to think of it, we have seen some pretty strange things on board, but it just as easily could be two very separate.
Well, maybe the ship isn't here for us. Maybe it's for her.
One way to find out, eh?
Yeah.
Tess suggests that everyone take some time, gather your supplies, and then perhaps we'll go meet near the bridge.
In my opinion, y'all are a little too excited about this.
A chance to meet more undead? Tess cannot wait.
You're definitely a creep.
Iolanthe kind of lowers herself down in like a little mock predatory pose, and she's like, Tess needs more skulls. Ooh.
This is the only skull that matters, and Tess will pull her mom's skull out and kind of like rub the forehead gently.
I can mash and bash skulls, Jared says, happily.
Sure, it is a treasure.
Oh, that's equally creepy. Anyway, I suppose I'll go get my gear. And, yeah, he kind of leaves the room.
Such a treat.
He's the big softy. Tess knows it.
Well, Tuard has everything. I will see you up on deck. Also,
I'm carrying
there's
everything I need.
Tess digs through her bag to make sure she's got rations just in case.
Miscu pats the pouch on her side where her lockpick kit is. I've got everything I need right here.
Sounds good. Tess will see all of you up there.
good luck, everyone, Anterius says as you leave. Together, everyone starts making their way above deck. Wait. Oop. Anterius makes his way back up to the aft castle and takes the helm. You see Torrid and we see Torrid is lined up at the side of the ship there, where the small makeshift bridge has been placed. And a chill crawls up your spine as you approach the seemingly empty deck of the HMCV Winchester. The panels along the hull appear practically new, and the ship rocks back and forth in a creaking ballad, devoid of the dissonance that might suggest the presence of any living resident. A few planks of wood and rope form a haphazard bridge between the quiet vessel and the unbroken trust. The bridge appears to be rather sturdy anyway. It is also quite thin, so there will be a dexterity check to get across it, should that be the means by which you intend to board the vessel.
So how far across is it from us?
It's about 10 feet.
All right. Amphere is gonna sort of say, I mean, let's not put any undue strain on the bridge just yet. Let me see if this will work. And I'm gonna try using my Misty Step in order to.
And everyone ducks and covers.
Oh boy, go ahead and roll your wild magic surge.
Okay.
Okay, and what was the
It's a
formula
second
we
level
came
spell.
up- Hold on, where did I document this formula? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we're rolling 1d20 plus your spell level. So we have 4 plus 2. Okay, what is your spell save DC?
15? Let me take a look. Save. Oh, hang on. Save? DC 16.
DC 16. Okay, you're safe.
Okay.
You misty step over to the other side. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Is Healthius on the other side as well?
Yeah, Healthius is already on the other side. We'll get to all that in just a moment. Val'faelen is going to start attempting to cross the bridge. He's a little reluctant to. Perhaps I should go last. I am a little concerned with my, the weight of my armor. Why don't you all proceed before me? Jared, I'll go. Roll an ability check. Tori just kind of easily makes her way right across the bridge and joins you, Ian Fear. Already a thrill, and she slaps you on the back. Rather hard, actually.
Misky will follow suit.
Miscu, go ahead and roll a dexterity check. This is just to keep your balance on the bridge. And you pass it. Who's next? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Miska's gonna follow directly behind Turid and give her put an arm on her shoulder after she crosses and excitedly shake her, going, "You ready to fight a ghost, Turid?" Miska's gonna pause, think to herself for a moment, and look back to the party across the other boat and shout, "Hey, how do we fight ghosts?"
It's fine. Don't worry. We'll figure it out.
Very carefully.
Okay, Iolanthe will go ahead and cross the bridge.
Okay, go ahead and roll a dexterity check. Ooh, crit.
Wow.
Nice.
Cross the fuck out of that bridge.
Iolanthe, like,
Like
cartwheels. Parkour! And, like...
She looks over at Miscu like, you gotta use your skills.
She, like, intentionally jumps over the side, but then, like, wall kicks off both of the ships all the way up until she's on the...
Oh no, crossed it so hard it broke.
Val takes a step forward and looks back at you, Tess. After you.
Tess admits she's a little nervous. Now is a bad time to remind
Go on.
everyone. Tess does not know how to swim. Well, here goes.
Go ahead and roll it.
Let me find it. A little rusty. A check, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, it's pretty easy for you, so you kind of balance yourself and pace over the bridge. val'faelen looks at the bridge and he puts one foot on the bridge and kind of tests it with his weight. He looks over the edge into the water and shakes his head with a bit of a cringe.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my bend luck skill to give a
Bend luck.
plus. Here, yeah. So I can spend up to 2 spell points, and I can add or subtract a D4 to the roll. So I will add a D4.
Okay. So that makes the roll 11. val'faelen gets to about the center of the bridge when he starts to sort of wobble one way or the other. He reaches out as far as he can, but as he does, his leg kind of slips and he starts to fall into the. He starts to fall over the side.
Yeah, yeah, Ianfear's gonna go ahead and he's gonna attempt to cast Levitate, targeting val'faelen.
Go ahead and roll your wild magic surge. (18 plus 2), and you said your spell save DC was 17.
16.
16. Go ahead and roll for wild magic. Oh boy. What are we doing? Let's see. So we've got a 53 on the wild magic table.
Why just do that? Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking for your wild magic. There it is. Let's see, we rolled a 53. That is... Oh, well, hey, go ahead and roll 5d6. You suddenly feel more, well, you feel different in some way. But otherwise, nothing seems to happen to val'faelen, and he continues to kind of slip toward the water. Does anybody else have any reactions here?
Can I dash up and try and catch him?
I have control water that I can use if I concentrate, so if Miscu can't catch Val, then I can definitely do control water and splish splash.
Yes, you can, Miscu. Go ahead and roll dexterity. Or athletics. I'll let you roll either one.
Okay.
That would be a pass. So yeah, you kind of dive in, grab val'faelen by the wrist, and sort of help to steady him. As soon as he has both feet planted on the bridge, you hear a as the bridge starts to buckle beneath his feet, or beneath both of your feet.
I think you best get moving quickly.
Misku, finish crossing the bridge. Follow after you.
Miska's gonna step very carefully back across.
val'faelen kind of slowly slides his foot forward and takes a 5-foot step. You continue to hear the buckling of the wood as he does, and just as he steps over the side, the bridge stops cracking, and he kind of brushes he kind of brushes his eyebrows. Ooh. Oh, I made it. One moment while I get everything set up on that side.
Iolanthe looks across at the other ship and says, "Can we put a second plank on top of this one?"
One of the crew members nods at you and immediately get to work fashioning a new bridge.
We may need to make a speedy exit, and I don't want anybody to risk getting hurt or falling into the water.
There we are. Okay. Whoops. The wrong token. Yeah, we can cut to BRB for a minute. Well, now that that is figured out, as you carefully step down the stairs, your nostrils are filled with the soothing smell of barley tea. There are crates everywhere in this cargo hold, each perfectly intact and not a splinter out of place.
Miska wants to try and open one of the crates.
These smell good. Okay. Trying to pry open the crates is, it takes quite a bit of strength. Go ahead and roll a strength check. $18. Try as you might, you cannot get this thing open. Do you want to continue messing with it until you're able to get it open?
Can I just like try and bonk a hole in the top with my club?
Sure. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Sorry, there we go.
Okay, 17. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage. So yeah, you're able to crack a little hole in the top of this crate, and from what you can see inside, it appears to be tea.
Guess he's gonna lean towards the hole, give it a sniff, and just go, huh. That smell good though.
This would probably be good freight to bring back aboard. If you want, I can start pulling these crates upstairs.
Oh, just hold on with that.
As you wish.
going to check this door I'm standing next to for traps.
Healthius, I'll get back to you in just a moment.
Okay. You can hear me. All right.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're going to check the door for traps.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll investigation. Doesn't seem to be trapped at all.
All right.
Put this one. This room appears to be some kind of sitting area. There's not much else in this room other than 2 benches.
Miska's going to plop down one of the benches and take in the room just to see if she can notice anything in it.
Once again, everything in the room is perfectly intact. The benches almost have a fresh coat of stain on them, and every board is in place, not even a notch in the wood. You sit down and you note that this is one of the more comfortable seats you've ever sat in. Iolanthe, what are you doing here?
I'm gonna try this door, see if this is also locked or if this one can open up.
Locked tight.
Just my luck. I'll call Misku. I might need some help over here.
Miska's going to dust off her lap and stand up, stretch a little bit. All right, back to work. There we go.
So you approach this door. There are a set of 4 doors at the in the aft section of this deck. Each of these doors is. Are you wanting to try to pick them, or?
Yeah, I'll attempt to pick the one that Iolanthe is standing at.
Okay. Again, there is no. There's no real. There's no real imminent threat or anything like that. How long would you like to attempt for this particular lock?
Take another 10-minute attempt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your lock picking. Just to check for critical failure.
Where do I actually roll for that? It's been a minute.
So if you go to your sheets in
There's
your
gonna be a thing for,
inventory.
Tool proficiencies or something, I think.
Yeah, if you go to your inventory,
Okay.
there is a Thieves Tools. Yeah, I just clicked it right there. So when you click it, you can click Use Thieves Tools, and it'll roll.
So if I have proficiency, does that roll at advantage, or is there anything to modify that?
It should modify it automatically.
Okay.
It says right there, Dexterity and Proficient. So
Gotcha.
yeah, just roll it normal. Okay. So roll a 7. That's fine. Like I said, we're basically just checking to see if you can, if your tools break or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So it probably takes a full 5 to 7 minutes, but eventually you're able to shift that last tumbler in place with a satisfying click, and the lock opens.
All right, I'll give it another check for traps.
Investigation. Nothing that you can find.
All right. After you.
Sure.
This is a small, a very small crew quarters in this room, likely reserved for more distinguished members of the crew, each getting their own room, obviously. Not much to this other than a small desk and a table. I mean, and a bed. Sorry.
Well, let's look through the desk, see if I can find anything.
Go ahead and roll investigation. You find nothing.
Okay.
I'm going to cut over to Anterius for just a moment.
So I'm attempting to come back downstairs. I went upstairs because I thought something, and then found out that I didn't need to go.
Wait.
Is this the same room?
Yeah, okay. I brought you back upstairs. So as you come up the stairs, you appear to be on a completely different ship.
Hey
Unlike
guys.
before, there's kind of debris and just stuff everywhere.
Yeah, guys. Or actually, I'm gonna. Where's the other ship?
Gone.
mean,
Our ship is gone.
Correct.
Guys. Hello.
There's no response.
Go back downstairs.
So you go downstairs, and this is a completely different room than the one that you were previously in. Everything looks old and run down.
Okay, all I see is a black screen.
Move your thing south a little bit. You might need to.
yeah. So basically, the way it's gonna have to work is you're gonna have to like sort of zoom in through the map and drag until you get to where you see an image.
Okay, I see the same room with cobwebs on it. So, guys.
No answer.
I like
I'm gonna
being
go-
a seal.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave you right there and cut back to the other scene.
Okay.
Everybody else. So
Could we hear that at all?
No, you could not hear anything. So as for the rest of you, are you intent on opening each of these rooms, Misku?
Yes.
I'm going to say that you were able to go through each lock and pick each one. Takes you a few minutes per lock, but you're starting to get really used to lock picking at this point, and yeah, you're able to open up each door.
All right. Open this pit up.
Each of these rooms are just other crew quarters, and there's one room that just has a desk and a little sitting area. But try as you might, you can't seem to find anything in any of these rooms, other than the beds and the furniture. Fulgrim approaches you, Tess. You sure you don't want me to haul this stuff up above deck?
Tess is very concerned about everybody getting too split up. It strikes Tess as very, very strange that there's no dust settled. And where's Helthius?
Yeah, let's
Iolanthe actually looks around and she's like, it's just not right. And she decides to try to cast Detect Magic.
Detect magic?
Yes.
Okay. I believe that's a cantrip, is it not? Can you link it?
It's not a cantrip.
it's like a first level spell.
Okay, perfect. Sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. So those of you who have magical items, Iolanthe, you are able to detect those. Other than that, you are not picking up any particular kind of magic in this area.
She frowns and kind of looks around, like shudders a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, I imagine there's a little bit more than 3 feet of wood around here.
I didn't actually mean to cast that right there. I didn't know it was going to pick this little glamour.
That's okay. This is very strange. The ship seems to be in perfect condition, as though it set sail only yesterday. However, we know for a fact that it's been lost at sea for 5 years. Frankly, this place has given me the creeps. By the
Yeah,
way,
me too.
you were asking about Healthius. I saw him head up the stairs just a few minutes ago.
Up these stairs here?
Yeah, back up to the main deck, you know. You also come through into a very different place, Tess. I'll get back to you in just a second.
What are these? Is this like metal grating or something of some kind that I'm standing in front of?
Yeah, those are storm grates, yes.
Oh, okay. Is it possible to look underneath them? Or like
Sure.
look through the holes?
Sure, if you've got a light source, yeah.
I mean, I also have dark vision.
Yeah, but dark vision relies on there being a light source to illuminate. Night vision, on the other hand, is what you're thinking of, where you can just see in the dark. What I'm implying is that what's below deck is pitch black, so you would need some kind of light source cast upon that to see.
Well, let's see if we can maybe try to lift up this storm drain thing.
It doesn't open.
There's stairs going
Val'faelen.
further down, right?
Yeah, there are stairs going down. They're on the other side. Or wait. Yeah, they're on the other side. Oh, wow, I mixed those up. Whoops. Yeah, okay, I kind of messed that up. So I will, if you'd like to go downstairs, I can drag you down there. But I kind of messed that up.
Okay.
Are you trying to go downstairs?
Yes.
Okay, let me drag you over. On the bottom deck, you find even more crates. The smell here is overwhelming. Spices of all kinds.
I'm gonna start checking out doors down here.
Locked.
All right. Get to picking.
You start to try after this lock, but it seems to be extremely complex, much more so than the ones you've picked previously. You don't think you're going to be able to do this in any insignificant amount of time.
So I think I'm actually going to go around from here and go downstairs as well.
Okay, let me drag you down, because, yeah, I totally messed that up. Ian Fair, you come down the stairs behind Miscu. Well, I'm going to head back above deck.
Is there any sort of like writing or any sort of things that like I don't know. I'm just looking around to see if I notice anything this of any sort of like writing or whatnot to see if I can try to read anything in here.
Whoops. My bad.
Whoa.
That was not what I meant to do.
What happened?
Sorry. Go ahead. As you were.
I don't know what that is.
What were you saying, Ian Fear? I'm sorry.
I was just trying to see if I can find like anything to sort of read or to help, you know. Oh,
You
I'm
you search
all
around
blind.
for a while, but you don't seem to find anything that has text on it at all. Just the two locked doors and a bunch of crates.
Now I'm in a completely black screen.
Completely black screen.
Oh, I
yeah.
see what happened.
I don't know what kind of screen this is.
What? What happened?
Oh, I see. There's a
Yeah, I kind of borked stuff. My bad. Well,
Mine's a black screen with a red circle and a blue circle.
Iolanthe, Bagram kind of looks over to you and says, "This is all pleasantly creepy, but I think I'm gonna head back above deck."
She nods and kind of follows along. She's like, "Yeah, I hope we'll be done soon. I don't want to be here any longer than we have to."
I'm going to. Okay, so you're headed upstairs as well, Iolanthe?
Yeah.
Okay. That leaves Ianfear and Miscu. And the reason that it's probably completely dark for you is because the room that you're in is pitch black. There's no
Well-
light source in here.
It isn't just that. It also said it failed to load a texture or something like that.
Welcome back. Sorry about the technical difficulties in this one. We're kind of trying stuff on this map that we have never done before. So it's a little bit confusing for everybody involved, but we're almost there. So, all right. Now, both of you have been kind of poking around this room. There are a lot of crates. There is the strong scent of spices coming from this room. What do you guys want to do?
Miscu's gonna pocket her lockpicking tools, give an exasperated sigh, and pull out her crowbar, stating, "Time for the bigger lockpick."
Okay. And how precisely are you applying this crowbar to this door?
I want to try and pry the door open from the side.
Go ahead and
Just
roll
brute
a
force.
strength check.
So, I'm going to I'm gonna try this door that I'm at right here.
Also lock.
All right, so I'm actually going to reach into my pockets and I'm going to try. Let me see if it's in here.
Roll that strength
maybe I
check
don't have it.
with advantage because of the crowbar.
All right. So just roll it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
You get the distinct impression that as much force that you're putting on this door, it should easily pop open. However, it does not budge.
Miscu's gonna let out a very dejected grunt and go, "All right, let's use the bigger crowbar." And she's just gonna take a swing at the door with her club.
Warhammer? Or,
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Go ahead and roll your attack. Oh, you definitely strike the door. Go ahead and roll damage. Your blow doesn't even seem to put a welt in this door.
Miscu's
You don't think you're getting through this one.
Miscu throws her club over her shoulder and just scratches her head with her other hand, looking at it very perplexed.
What does this door look like? It's made out of wood, metal, what?
Which one? The one you're looking at?
The one that I'm looking at.
The one you're looking at seems to just be made out of wood.
Does mine also look like it's made out of wood?
Yes, but after striking the door, you kind of realize that this is like a very, very thick door. It's possible there's like metal layered in there somewhere.
Is there any mark from the wood where I hit it?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a bit of a welt in the door, but it's
I'm
not
gonna-
like splintered or anything like that.
I'll go ahead and call Misku over to where I'm at.
Misky
We trying
walks
the
up-
door here.
Yeah. Give me a
Nope.
second.
Um,
I'm gonna say, can I see your tools real quick?
Sure. Misky will go ahead and just hands over her little wrapped up bundle of lockpick tools.
And then, where would I? So I have the proficiency to use them. It's just I don't have the thing to click for that. Okay.
So you're gonna try Misku's tools?
Yeah. But
Roll a
the thing is-
dexterity check.
Okay. Dexterity check. Oh, hang on. And then it says I can also add, since I have proficiency with it.
Yep, go ahead. And just roll the dexterity check and then add your proficiency modifier.
Okay.
Same thing here. Try as you might, you are not able to. Like, this lock seems too complex for you to be able to pick.
Jeez. Yeah, we might need to come back to this.
Hey, Misky's gonna motion for Ian Fear to step back as she starts to raise her club at the door.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and roll it. I mean, yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage. I'd say your club puts a nice little hole in the door. You can probably reach through and unlock it.
Misky's gonna take a peek through the door before she reaches her hand through.
The only thing that you see on the other side is several crates.
All right. Miss is gonna reach through and try and unlock it.
You unlock the door.
Here's Misku.
Are you following him in, Ian Fear?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, are you following her in?
Are these just like similar crates to what we saw up above?
Yes, yeah, they're quite similar. However, they don't have the same smell as before.
All right.
Are they all rotten now?
No, they don't seem to smell like anything, really.
I'm gonna try and crowbar one of these open.
Go ahead and roll strength with advantage. So you're able to pry one of the crates open, and inside seems to be these rolls of silk.
Hmm.
Um, hmm. I mean, silk usually seems to be pretty expensive.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, we do know that, we've got some things here that we can take back, but let's get back to the others, I think.
Soon as you guys walk through that door, stepping back out onto the main deck of the vessel, the scene is not the way that it once was. Pieces of wood and rope lay tattered on the deck. Parts of the railing are notched and rotting, and wood from the mast has fallen into a state of obvious disrepair. For some reason, lighting is also not working correctly, so couldn't get the light to turn down, which kind of sucks.
Especially since there's no water whatsoever around us, apparently. No, I get what you mean. What just happened here?
Welcome to quite possibly the real ship.
Yeah, I say abandoned ship.
Looking around, we're gonna where? I mean, where? Abandoned where?
Good question.
Indeed, the ship appears to be gone.
Yeah, the ship is gone. I failed to mention that. But I've been frantically going back and forth searching in front of Tess the whole time. I don't know, but I think we need to get off the ship and don't take anything with us.
Let me see. I see one of you went up to the forecastle. The ballista appears barely operable, but loaded with a single harpoon.
Let's go back to these rooms over here.
Can I check to see if the anchor is lowered?
Wait, where did Miss? What?
I
What is
think I'm on the
going
other.
here?
I think I'm on the original ship again.
Oh, why
Either
did
that or
happen?
underneath one of the tokens. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. It's something got messed up with when the transition happened. I'm so sorry about that. I really
it's
thought
okay.
that I
No
had
worries.
everything figured out, but
We'll get it fixed.
I'm not sure why that happened.
Tess is
I'm
going to
gonna-
approach this door right here, and she's gonna lean up against it and just like press her ear to see if she hears anything on the other side.
It's dead silent.
She opens the door and peeks in.
Okay, so I've got a couple to do here. Everybody's kind of moving around a little too
Sorry.
quickly for me to
Yeah,
keep up.
Sorry, I'm actually going to go into this first one that we had unlocked to go examine what it looks like.
Okay. So I'll go in this order. Let me update Tess, and then I'll update Ian Fear, and then I'll get Healthiest. So one moment. So starting with Tess, the crew quarters appear to have shared the same fate as the other rooms on board. The beds are in complete disarray, and some of the frames are obviously absolutely splintered. In fear, you rub your eyes as the room seems to change in a blink. The desk slid forward and appears to have been smashed entirely, in the bed in complete disarray. The same paintings hang on the wall, but they appear different somehow. Healthiest, on the aft castle. Ascending the stairs, the helm of the ship sits slightly from left to right, shifts slightly from left to right as though being steered by some ghostly presence. Nearby, a splintery gash in the mizzenmast.
I'm checking the anchor as I'm watching that helm.
The anchor is down currently.
Anchor's down.
Shouldn't there be no anchor, according to the captain's journal that we got?
Oh yes, I'm sorry, no anchor. But it
It,
would
like-
be
it,
in the
like,
down. It
snapped.
would be in the down position, is what I
Oh.
meant to imply.
Yeah,
You know the
I guess
thing,
I'd like
yeah, the
to
capstan.
examine these paintings.
Which painting would you
uh,
like to look at first?
We'll start with the one over the bed.
Above the bed is a charcoal. Wait. Oh yes. Above the bed is a charcoal piece of the Temple of Llanwillen in Amajokia. There are brownish red stains smeared over the front of the image.
And then on the starboard side.
On the starboard wall is a lifelike oil painting of a huntress and a black wolf. The moisture has obviously warped the canvas and distorted the face of the huntress into an awful grimace.
And then the one over the desk.
Hanging above where the desk was is a faded image of what looks like a creepy forest. Two unidentifiable creatures stare sharply through the trees at you, and the eyes seem to follow you as you move about.
I'm gonna come back out. So I'm actually gonna go up to Iolanthe and say, "You have the most keen senses of us to detect things naturally. Maybe you can see what's different from the ship from when we first came on board."
Iolanthe kind of blinks and then looks around at the ship that's all in disarray and kind of like thinks to herself, I'd have a. She turns to Anterius. She's like, I'd have an easier time if I could turn into my wolf form, but I don't think I can. I don't feel Llanwillen's magic right now.
I'm gonna send something to you real quick.
You're gonna send something to me?
No. To a. So it was just a little casual remark to acid, but
She kind of paces around a little bit and she's sniffing the air furiously, trying to pick up a hint of anything. And then she kind of comes up to this door where she was before, where the beds are, and she remembers the little scratch that she made and decides to go see if it's there.
Are you heading into the room with Tess?
Yes.
You find Tess in sort of a startled, kind of look about her. All of the beds in this room seem to have otherwise been destroyed. Wood is rotting, splintered. You're not even sure they're the same beds.
She looks around and is like, ugh.
Tess is going to investigate each of the beds, mess around with the covers, look underneath, all the places.
so I think I'm gonna since Misku and Healthiest were the ones that were first in this room, I'm gonna let them know about the paintings I found to compare to the one when they first saw them.
Okay. So Ian Fear explains the differences in the paintings to you, Miscu. Healthiest, you probably hear the chatter, but you can't really make it all out over the sounds of the ocean around you. By the way, Healthiest, now that you're up on the aft castle and you have kind of a better view of everything around the ship,
Uh-huh.
you notice that you don't see anything, really. There are no icebergs, it's just water all around you, or as
Our
far
ship
as
is
you can
not
see.
there.
Your ship is not there now. There is water as far as you can see.
Yeah. Well, even if we were to take a ship, I don't think we'd ever get out of this. But I would like to see if I can raise the anchor. Not that there is one.
Sure, the capstan is just is below back on the main deck.
What? It should be right here.
No, that's the helm. Oh, what? Oh, the little circle thing that you're right next to. That is the mizzen mast. So capstan would be around near where Ian Fear is standing.
Where is it?
It's not displayed on the map at current.
Oh. Okay. Well then.
Healthiest goes to the capstan and starts turning it. It easily turns as though there's no weight attached to it, and when it comes up, you can clearly see that the rope that it was attached to has snapped at some point. It's like shredded. So, Tess, from the room there, you hear sort of a
My investigation check, I was going through the beds. I rolled a
sorry.
17.
Going through the beds, you simply find that, a bunch of ruined beds. There's not really much else of interest. But from the room in there, you hear sort of a loud snap. Everybody outside also, you hear this loud snap sound as another being appears just behind you.
Is it a ghost or is it a solid thing?
One moment, pulling up that part here. Curious. Mortals on my prized plaything. Huh. Tell me, why are you here?
We aren't sure.
This being is the upper half of their body is sort of this very fishy looking aquatic creature, whereas the bottom half is sort of a mess of like water in like a whirlpool that kind of feed down into what looks like just a piece of debris that's laying on the deck.
We aren't sure where or we are or how we got here.
Not sure. Typical mortal. You crossed the bridge from your ship over to mine, and I brought you to the ship. Now, that still doesn't answer my question. Why are you here?
I'll answer yours if you'll answer mine.
Finally. This one gets it. What is your name, little girl?
Tess is gonna step up to this person, this thing. Hello, I'm Tess. We may come from a different realm. We came here looking for clues as to where the crew went on this ship.
Okay, you tell me things I already know. Why are you here?
Because we stepped through those stairs. And she just points toward the stairs that they came from.
I see. And this being starts looking around at each of you. Let me see here. Well, I suppose that qualifies. Sort of rolls their eyes. I see. Well, you seem like you may have a story or two to tell, so I suppose we'll get to that in just a moment. You are in my realm, the realm of water, of course. I've brought you here because you boarded my prized plaything. It's mine. I claimed it, and so by your own laws, it's mine. No one was on board, at least when I took it over.
Now for Tessa's question.
Yes.
What
What's
is-
that?
What is your name, kind friend?
Ah, Shathira. A pleasure.
Much obliged. Thank you. I'm Tess. This is Miskew, Bogram, Heltius, val'faelen, and Turid. Oh, and over
What-
there are Iolanthe and Infir.
What boring mortal names. Anyway, you all look like you might have stories. Do tell me a story, and make sure it's entertaining. Because if I'm at all bored, then you can enjoy your stay here in the realm of water for the rest of your miserable lives.
Iolanthe kind of tilts her head like, why would you want us to stay here if we're boring?
Because then you won't be on my prized plaything.
Can I ask for the spelling of this character's name?
That would be Shatheera. Shathira.
Shathira. Well, does anybody have any fun stories?
I mean, there's the time I set myself on fire. We can always tell that story.
Oh, you mortals are always killing yourselves and killing each other. Boring. Aren't you a magic user? Have you ever raised a city or fought something powerful?
I turned a giant into a chipmunk.
A chipmunk. And did you squish it?
Actually, Iolanthe did.
Oh, do tell me this tale.
Well, I mean, it did involve trying to get away from an army of the undead at one point, and we came across a couple of giants that were trying to hurt our friend Iolanthe here. So I used my magic to turn one of them into a chipmunk.
You're kind of thinking about the story as you go, and
I know.
you kind of are moving your eyes about. But as you shift back to the this being, it's I'm sorry, your story is just utterly boring.
Iolanthe reaches up and touches her wolf eye, and she's like, I once had my soul bound with that of a god's.
That's interesting. Do tell me that story.
She kind of shuffles a little bit and looks uncomfortable, but she sighs and is like, well, when I was very small, I went out into a new section of the woods that I'd never been, and something attacked me that was unspeakably evil. And it shredded my soul into smithereens and left me for dead. And somebody, I think it may have been Lanwellyn herself, but she came to me to help me and she summoned a bunch of spirits from the forest and bound them together to create a new soul to patch together with mine. It left me with
Ooh.
this kind of weird looking eye, but it saved my life.
And it sort of hovers its way over to you and gets very, very close to your face.
She kind of backs up.
Yes. What an interesting feature. Oh, that is perfectly chaotic.
She kind of reaches up self-consciously and like kind of touches the little scarred section around the eye and is looking around a little bit like, thanks.
What a delightful story. I will give you one wish,
Oh,
but consider it carefully.
she kind of side eyes over to Ian Fear, like looking at him like, what do I do?
Huddle. Team huddle.
So if you check the chat in Dalancia General, that's what I'm gonna lean over and whisper that to you.
Okay, she kind of clears her throat and says, I wish that all of us could be put back on our proper ship in the mortal realm.
An interesting request. And why would you want to go back there?
Well, we were kind of in the middle of something. And we need to finish it.
I see. Well, in that case, your wish is granted. And you you all watch as Iolanthe immediately vanishes.
Oh.
I suppose she did say you all. And one by one, each of you start to vanish. Except for you, Ian Fear. You're left.
Oh.
Now, surely you can come up with a better story than that.
Well, I mean, the only other good story I have would be how I turned away a mob with just the sound of thunder.
Ooh, that does sound like a good story. I do love control over mortals. Do tell your tale.
There was a mob gathering, threatening some friends of ours, and so created the illusion of the sound of thunder coming through, and miraculously, some rain also started to appear, and it dispersed the crowd away.
Oh, you are so very bad at telling stories.
Oof.
This is... I must consider a fitting punishment. Ah. I know just the thing. Here, and the being just snaps their fingers, and in your hand appears a small mirror. Now, go back to your mortal realm, and if you ever come across my ship again, leave it alone.
Absolutely.
You're all back on board the Unbroken Trust.
Huh, what an interesting being.
How did we get here?
Anterius rushes down the stairs towards you. Whoops. Altheus is not a seal. Anterius rushes towards you as soon as he sees you all kind of blink in. You see the confusion around you on the rest of the ship. So, what happened?
We went down the ship, and when we tried to go somewhere, we apparently were transported into an entirely different realm.
Interesting.
Iolanthe goes over to the other side of the ship to look and see if she sees the ghost ship over there.
Not there. Not there at all.
Oh,
I'm gonna kind of remark, if I had a silver piece for every time we've been transported into a different realm, I would have 2 silver pieces, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that it's happened twice so far.
We still have the
Indeed.
captain's journal, right? That we picked up.
Yes, yes. The captain's journal is still in your possession.
So Tess will offer that to Anterius. As far as clues go, this is the most informative one. We ran into a weird being named Shathira who claimed that he owns the ship, but when he found it, it was already empty. Seems it could have been some kind of disease that took over the ship, possibly.
Can you describe this being that you met?
Kind of fishy, aquatic upper half with a whirlpool for legs. It grants wishes.
It grants
What?
wishes.
Yeah,
Why did I get a wish?
Iolanthe kind of rubs the back of her head awkwardly, like, I didn't know if we'd have another opportunity to escape, so I used it to get us back here, but I kind of wish I'd been able to ask some more questions.
Or ask for more wishes?
He
Oh,
said
that
the
never
ship was
worked
his
out.
plaything. He wanted stories in exchange for, or good stories in exchange for a wish. Ian Fear, what happened? You were late coming back.
They asked if I could give them any more stories. I mean, I did, but apparently I was just not good at telling him.
No wishes?
And Ian Fear is gonna kind of look down at the mirror and go, no, nothing. Just a little reminder to tell better stories.
What is that you have there?
They called it a punishment, but something to tell better stories.
Interesting.
Yeah, like
Perhaps a metaphor.
it's something we probably need to look at because I would hesitate putting it near anything important.
Indeed. Interesting.
Maybe Healthiest, you'd like to take a look at it.
Maybe. Or I could just curse that being for not granting me a wish.
Well, personally, Tess thinks that the being would be offended if you gave away his punishment to someone else. Perhaps you should do some research on it, in fear.
I just have to say, Bagram says, I'm a little upset that we made it off of that without any of that
We didn't-
cargo.
We didn't want any of it anyways. It probably turned to dust the moment we got off the ship.
Either that or we could have sold it for some coin.
For dust?
I don't know about you, I could use the coin.
Where
We
is
would not
Bagram?
have sold it for coin. We would have given it back to the original people that purchased it.
Surely the people that purchased it wanted coin. Had coin.
Well, it's a little too late for that. Plus, that
Indeed.
being, Shathira may have gotten angry if we had taken any of his play stuff.
Can't seem to find Bagram's token otherwise.
Yeah, I
Where
was
the hell
like,
did
where
that
is
go?
Bagram got sent to a different dimension.
Only
Isn't
his
that-
voice came back.
I was gonna say, isn't that? Oh no, I guess that is Healthiest next to Iolanthe.
No, Balgrim's supposed to be there. Hold on. Oh, there he is. He was standing behind Anterius the entire time. It's the hat. You
He's just
didn't notice him.
hiding. He's hiding behind Anterius so Ianfear doesn't bully him anymore.
Unintentional critical stealth check.
Well, I mean, isn't Anterius like 6'7" anyway?
It's probably a good thing he didn't ask me for a story. So I would have gave him a good one.
I could have possibly read from one of my books.
Well, it seemed that from, at least with the second one, that he was more interested in feats of magic, especially great feats of power or great feats of control.
Anterius says there are stories about beings called Marids that sort of fit the description of what you described. They're like genies, if you will, of the water, or the elemental plane of water. They make up the majority of the population there. Definitely the most powerful beings. It's definitely good you didn't have to fight the thing. But it's also good that you made it out of there alive. Most people don't. Typically they leave sailors alone. I wonder why this one took an interest in that ship.
It was its own bottle.
Were they only taking silks, or were they taking something else?
Well-
Silks, spices, tea.
I mean, there
Not very
was-
valuable cargo for a Marid.
She
Yeah,
looks
there
kind
was
of
a room,
looks
but-
at the mirror that Iolanthe is holding and is like, maybe they were carrying something a little more sinister,
Some types of
something
chaotic
magical that he thought was interesting.
Iolanthe, some chaotic beings like this often don't make decisions based on necessity. Rather, perhaps they just liked the ship.
It was their own form of punishment or imprisonment.
I'm more curious about this mirror.
And great, another mirror.
So
Indeed.
definitely keep those two separate. Or don't. I don't know. Throw that mirror in the big mirror. See what happens.
Don't give Helfius an idea now.
That is an
By the way,
interesting.
that was me saying that, not Iolanthe.
That is an interesting hypothesis. Do you believe the mirrors have something to do with one another?
I don't know that that would be the case, especially given it's supposed to be a punishment. But it's definitely something that needs to be looked into.
Literally.
Unfortunately, I think this is where I have to depart.
Yeah. no
Understood.
worries.
I'll fill you in before the next session, Alpheus.
Iolanthe stretches and says, "Well, that was exciting, but it's been a bit long, and I can feel my powers starting to drain a bit. So I'm going to find a spot to meditate and clear my mind."
Indeed, I could use a meal and rest.
I'm gonna turn to the back of this mirror, see if there's any sort of writing on the back or anything for language.
Go ahead and roll investigation on that.
I would like to use my, where is it? Tides of Chaos, so that it'll give me advantage for the use. So it says it gives advantage on one attack roll, one ability roll, or one saving throw.
Okay.
and then I can get it back either after a long rest, or if I've cast a spell, if I roll a wild magic surge, essentially.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
All right.
There it is.
I better do.
Natural 20.
Ooh. Rubbing your fingers along the side of the, or on the edge of the mirror, you find you kind of find a little bit of a divot, and as you rub it, as you run your hand along the side, it sort of rubs off almost like a layer of dust that had settled in to some of these crevices that looked before like there was nothing there. Now there is clearly like the tiniest little writing, and it appears to be a name written in Dwarvish.
Okay.
Tess can read Dwarvish if you need help with it.
I think so. I didn't get proficiency, but I did get, or I think we discussed that I had read enough from the books that I at least can now understand it. Maybe not with like.
You so you do not recognize what the first name is, but the last name is most definitely Balfour.
Huh.
You have seen that written so much in your studies, you can pretty much pick it out anywhere.
Yeah. So I don't know about a bit of that. I know the name Balfour, and that's definitely on here.
Interesting. That would make that an artifact that is ancient. I don't think that that was normally on the vessel, and I wonder why it was in the possession of that Merid. I'm assuming that you mentioned to everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I think we need to look this up a bit more. I'll see if I can find anything in the books.
Interesting. I wonder if the mirror... I wonder if the mirror downstairs... val'faelen kind of under his breath so that no one else can hear him. Wonder if that mirror has similar writing. At any rate, I'm heading down to the galley if you wish to join me. Anterius follows suit. So Ian Fear, are you...
So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head back into my room. If there is a way to sort of hang up the mirror along the wall, what we do is hang it up, but with the mirror sort of like with the mirrored side facing towards the wall, so that way he could look into the sort of like the back and the edges of the mirror while studying it on the book or studying.
Okay, so you're trying to hang it with the mirror facing the wall?
Yes.
You kind of affix it to the wall as best you can, and you turn away from it for a moment, and the moment that you turn back, it's gone. Back in your pocket.
Huh. Yeah, I'll... Huh. For the pat the sides, that's... Okay. Sort of he'll grab the mirror and then set it on the desk.
Okay, the mirror's on the desk.
And then go ahead and start he'll go to reach and pull out some books.
Where are you pulling the books out from?
There should be some from here in the desk.
Okay. As you start to pull out the books, you kind of don't take your eyes off the mirror the entire way through. You set the books down on the desk.
Okay. Then he'll go ahead and sort of turn his eyes away as he opens up a book.
The mirror's gone.
Hmm.
You kind of once again check yourself, and yes, yep, it's back in your pocket.
Okay. So yeah, Ianfear will grab probably a couple of books, and now he'll actually head out from his room to go talk with the others downstairs.
You head downstairs.
Yeah, it's still doing the black thing. There you go.
Tess, what are you up to?
Heading to go check on the baby. The mirror room.
All right.
The big mirror.
You hop into the mirror. You climb down the stairs into the illicit cargo room. And there, the mirror sits ominously against the wall with the same cloth that you draped over it previous.
Best guess is we never did investigate the back of the mirror.
What will you do?
So it's resting, like, is it resting, like, up against the wall, or can I, like, finagle myself around it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can get around it. So there are some stands on the floor that are keeping the mirror kind of in place, but there's enough room to kind of just squeeze around the side of the mirror.
Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and do a investigation.
Sure. Did you want to remove the cloth?
Instead of removing it, Tess is just gonna, like, crawl up under the cloth. Like, she'll pick it up and go underneath it.
Okay. So you're kind of running your hands along the sides of this mirror and, checking just everywhere you can. There's some pretty ornate patterns along the sides of the mirror. And you do actually find some writing just in the same manner as the other mirror, and it does appear to be the same name. You, however, are able to identify the first name. So last name is still Balfour, but first name is Brogruck. Brogruck. Brogruck Balfour.
I'm sorry, can you spell the first name again? I was still writing in my notebook.
Bro Gruck. Gruck.
Brogruck Balfour.
Yep. Or Brogruck.
Well, that answers that. And then Tess will get out from underneath the cloth and then head back through the trapdoor and upstairs.
Ianfear, where are you headed?
Well, let's take a look. I'll probably head towards the others, I guess.
Everyone's kind of spread out.
Well, Val had announced he's headed downstairs to the, to the bar.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go find Val.
Just head downstairs. There we go. I think I put that in the wrong spot. Well, it's not really letting me move it for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why it's
Sorry,
not
maybe I
letting me
went.
move it.
Maybe I just went to the wrong spot. It's fine.
Ian Fear. Is everything all right?
Well, I've already found out something interesting. So
What's that?
Ian Fear is gonna sort of set the book he pulled with him onto the table. Then he's gonna reach into his pocket and set the mirror on the counter.
Okay.
And then he's gonna sort of deliberately look to the book and open it up without looking
You
at the
hear-
mirror.
Okay. So you hear sort of a, as both of them like gasp. It's gone. It's as though I blinked and it's not there. Val'faelen's like rubbing his eyes.
And then Ian Fear is gonna go reach into his pocket and then pull it back out.
Anterius is like face palming and he's like, "Ah, a mirror. It had to be a mirror."
And it's always happened when I look away from it. So whatever it is attached specifically to me and will return into my pocket if I ever look away from it.
May I? Anterius kind of puts his hand out or opens his hand to you. May I inspect the mirror?
Ian Fear is going to sort of look at it and say, well, I mean, let's see what happens. And he's going to hand over the mirror.
And as soon as it touches Anterius's hand, gone. It's back in your pocket.
And yeah, so as soon as Ian Fear feels that, he's like, yeah, it's back in my pocket.
Anterius kind of concentrates for a moment. You hear him sort of chant. Let me see here. So, Anterius kind of like waves his hand before you and chants something kind of unintelligible to you, and looks at you for a moment. Oh, I'm not detecting any evil necessarily coming from the mirror.
You did say they were beings of chaos. It could be because they were attracted specifically to me and being a powerful magic user. They decided to attract more chaos onto me.
Once again, Anterius kind of there's a wave of his hand, and he mutters something different this time, but equally as unintelligible to you. Ah. Not evil or good necessarily, but there is magic here.
Ian Fear is going to give a more sort of small grin. I figured that the first time it disappeared into my pocket.
Indeed.
It is definitely a mystery added upon the many that we seem to have.
It's about all I can tell you personally, Tess. Anterius looks over at you, and
Oh, hello.
Phelan immediately turns around in his stool.
Tess went to go check on the big version of the little mirror.
What did you find?
Strange we never thought to check the back of the mirror. But I went and checked and found a name. A Brogruk Balfour. Iolanthe, can I see the name on the back of that tiny mirror?
Well, you'll have to look at the back because the moment anyone touches it, it just disappears. So, well, somebody, yeah, he'll pull out the little hand mirror and then flip it to the back side.
Same exact name.
Indeed.
Has anybody looked into the mirror?
Have you?
I mean, that was sort of the point of the expedition, was to find some of this material, but
Now, have you looked at the mirror?
The tiny mirror? Have you looked into
Have
it?
you looked into it?
look into it? No, not yet. I've heard horror stories of cursed mirror objects and what happens, but I mean, it's already permanently attached to me. I guess might as well see what's into it. So I'll hold it up and sort of look into the mirror face.
Let me cut over right here. Iolanthe, what are you up to?
Iolanthe just found a quiet spot in the map room to just go ahead and curl up to do the meditation for a long rest.
Okay.
Because she's out
So you're
of wild shapes and she wants to be back in animal form ASAP.
Okay. So you're just resting at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, at this point it is night. It is nightfall. Okay, so back to you. Actually, Misku, what are you up to?
Misku's gonna saunter up to the bar and just signal for a drink. She's seen too much today.
Anterius pours you a stout, sets it in front of you. It's very frothy. Could use one myself. In fear, you look into the mirror, and at first you just see your own reflection. This seems to be a normal mirror. But on closer inspection, you do note a slight, very faint glow.
Is like, how would I see a glow? Like, is it like a glow that's emanating from me? Is it like a glow from the mirror? Is it like
It seems to be coming from the, I'm going to go ahead and call it the business portion of the mirror, the part that actually is meant to reflect your image back to you.
okay?
Ooh, tried to put your face inside. See if it's a portal.
You might be able to fit your nose in there, but it's pretty small.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking like compact mirror, like for makeup.
But put your dick in.
Put your
Oh no!
put your
no.
fingy in it. Just put one little fingy.
Wonder what would happen if I'm gonna try to sort of angle the mirror down so that it looks, or so that the mirror sort of angled onto the onto Iolanthi's magic charm, the necklace.
Okay.
Let's see if
You're
it has
just-
any reactions to it.
Doesn't seem to, no.
So this is like a compact mirror, like one that somebody who's into makeup would hold in their palm.
Yeah,
look
just
into,
about
right?
that size, yes. It's like a hand mirror.
This may be a bad idea, but we could see if it has any reaction to the big one. If we take it near the big mirror.
I would want to be closer to land, I think, before we check that, because especially being so far out into the sea, if anything terrible were to happen, we would have serious trouble getting help.
Actually, we're not that far from land. Anterius cuts in. If we were to get a, what are those called? Those little boats on the side.
Like a safe boat or like a life?
Yeah.
No, like a.
Lifeboat. There you go.
Yeah.
If we were able to, get someone into a lifeboat, we could have them at the shore in a day. We, that is to say that we haven't really hit the open ocean, as it were, between the continents. We're still in the North Sea.
Tess is just curious if this Brogruk Balfour has any connection to the lady on the other side.
We can give it a shot, but I guess we don't have anything else to go by.
Indeed. I'll come too, just to be sure.
We're just looking for a simple reaction, see if one lights up to the other, if there's any kind of magical connection.
I'll come along as well. I'm interested to see. Well, let's off then. So yeah, they all kind of walk up the stairs.
Oh, before heading up, Aemfir's going to reach into his pockets and say, "Oh, yeah, let's not forget about this," and then hand Misku back the thieves' tools.
Mescu nods and pockets them as she follows suit.
For this, I'm actually going to have Healthius accompany you guys. Because I figure any kind of talk about the mirror, he'd probably want to be in on.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, Aemfir's going to sort of like, while walking, he's going to sort of try to keep the mirror up to him towards, to see if there's any reaction as he gets closer towards the mirror, towards the map room.
Okay.
Forgot how to activate this thing. Can someone remind me?
Yeah, I
There
walk
might
over
be
to where Tess is and then click on the trapdoor icon.
Iolanthe just sitting cross-legged on the little chair in the back, just
the journal notes,
eyes eyes glowing, missing
So you
all
see
of this.
everybody. You see everybody kind of pile into this room, where the mirror to be kept.
So, do I? Because I think I'm in like a trance state. I don't know if that can be broken by people approaching or not.
Oh yeah, that's true. You, well, actually no, they probably do disturb you when they come in with all their noise. Especially val'faelen has never doffed his armor, so you hear the clunk, 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 clunk as he walks in.
Iolanthe kind of starts awake and is like, "What?"
Yeah, you're probably pretty irritated by that, but you see them all kind of rolling or furling this rug back, and they kind of climb down into what you know to be the room where they're keeping the mirror.
And she uncurls herself to a standing position. Is like, "What's going on?"
Either of the two of you that are remaining gonna explain? Looks like Iolanthe was like, nope, bye. Iolanthe comes back up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we also should probably do something about it. But it'll just be like, we're just gonna make sure that these mirrors actually are for the same purpose.
Iolanthe kind of tilts her head like, okay. I don't know what that means, but I guess I'll
Hey.
come along too.
All right, everybody heading downstairs. We'll climb down into the very dark room with the mirror in it.
No aura from it now?
No, there is, but it is currently underneath a cloak.
So Ian Fear will sort of pull out his pocket mirror, see if there's any actions right now.
The mirror just seems to glow quietly. Now that it's in a completely dark area, you can definitely tell this mirror is slightly glowing.
And then, yeah, he'll pull off the cover sheet slowly from the big mirror.
As you pull the cloak from the mirror, both mirrors start to react to one another. The small mirror in your hand starts to glow quite brightly, and you feel yourself being pulled in by the hand into the mirror. So your arm kind of goes through first, and you kind of feel yourself as though you're being uncontrollably sucked through.
Ooh.
You have a moment here to say anything, or
I'd probably just be, what the?
Can Tess reach forward and try to grab Ian Fear to pull him back?
sure.
Does that strength?
Go ahead and move up next to him, and then, yeah, go ahead and click strength.
Oof.
You are pulled in with him. So,
Probably a little help.
Ian Fear, you get pulled all the way through the mirror, and you along with him.
Wee.
Tess, wait! And val'faelen also dives directly into the mirror.
Iolanthe does too.
Iolanthe, Anterius, kind of right before you dive through that mirror, let them know we'll continue sailing for Shopabin. Miscu, Healthiest, of course, comes with. And we're going to go ahead and close out right there. I know it's a little bit early, but
It's fine.
looks like I've got some planning to do for the next 2 weeks. So, as you guys have, as an announcement for the end here, so we're going to schedule this now so that it happens every 2 weeks. There'll be information on my channel, but also know that in planning, we're going to be moving eventually to a different channel. More news on that a little bit later, but that is in the docket. So everybody who's watching, thank you very much for tuning in, and just know that we will eventually be moving to a new channel. More on that later. Just kind of keep an eye on the Discord and here in Twitch and on Twitter. You can follow me up there in the links on the Twitch page. But yeah, I will see everybody in 2 weeks. Excellent session, and as always, I'm VGpunx, the video game punk, and your most gracious DM, and I'm signing off. Keep a song in your heart.
Bye.